Okay, I've already got another video on tap. This one is going to be my true first foray into the world of cartridge games. After my first four being CD-based games, this one being my last. I was going to rip into Sonic Spinball instead of this one, but I ripped into this one instead. So, this is my true first foray into 16-bit cartridge Genesis territory. And it's a great game for the Genesis, but I don't know if it's going to land in good or neutral territory. And once again, I'm going to have to say that this will land in either good or neutral territory. And I plan to make this video a little bit shorter. This game was published in 1993 in time for the smash hit movie, which is a good movie, Jurassic Park. And it was one of those games that was advertised as having an advantage over the Super Nintendo, especially in terms of violent content, because in this version you could play as a deadly man-eating raptor, and in the SNES version was a top-down view, and you did not see the side of your character, and it looked much better. And this version, I played both the Super Nintendo and Genesis versions, but this one is my favorite because you can play as the Velociraptor or Alan Grant. And believe me, Alan Grant has great controls, but it's sometimes hard to use your weapons, you know. So that's kind of stiff, you know. And of course, I still can't show any video here, but of course, if you can just look up a lot of ads and a lot of this or that, you can see a lot of stuff. But of course, you know, just to describe it, you know, Alan Grant's wielding like this, how can I describe it? This electric gun to shoot down the dinosaurs, and of course with the Velociraptor, you're still eating not only people but dinosaurs, other dinosaurs, and you know. But when you control the dinosaur, it just, for some reason, it seems like the control either does whatever it wants or it varies between enemies. I don't know what it is, but it's just so kind of erratic and weird. I mean, believe me, as the title of the show, you know, this 5th episode deals with a rather, it's a strictly either good or neutral situation, and I'm afraid bad is just out of the question, and neutral's already teetering on the edge because I'm pointing out so little flaws that it's starting to land in good territory. And I'm starting to remember it, and actually I've played it quite recently. It's a great game. It is a great, great game. And I don't ever want to forget it because great games shouldn't ever be forgotten. Now, WWF Attitude got, of course, a neutral rating, and it was a lame disappointment compared to other wrestling games of the time. And of course, nothing near as good as the AKI wrestling games according to other reviews. But of course, you know, I wonder what game could I compare it to on the PlayStation? What game on the PlayStation is similar to the game you see before you now? Let's see, it's a side-scrolling view. You're killing monsters. It's a rather realistic view, for one thing. Is there anything on the PlayStation that rings a bell? Okay, this rings only slightly a bell. I'm gonna get it. Okay, now this only reminds me slightly of Jurassic Park, only slightly in any way possible. But, you know, it just, the top-down view and the simple, hard way it is to get enemies, it just reminds me, and I just wanted to turn this on because I just wanted to have some game footage. I mean, there's so many games I've ripped into here that I haven't been able to document. See, like Run, Jump. See, it's totally different kind of. It's quite similar, but you know, I just want to put it in, especially because I love Skull Monkeys. And I'm just going to give a quick mini review of it. It's a great game, and it is the most underrated game in the universe. Maybe I'll get into that one sometime. Now, believe me, I just wanted to say something about AVGN. I mean, you know, maybe it's because that Michael guy, you know, has kind of gotten me back into his apparent field. But, you know, I especially, AVGN, it seems like his humor is kind of getting a little bland now, and he hasn't done a video since Dragon's Lair. I used to like Michael's videos, before he even, before I even liked AVGN really that much. But he's still a good guy, and what I really want to say in this part, after I showed you that brief footage of a great game called Skull Monkeys, which is somewhat similar to the side-scrolling premise, but I wanted to give a retrospective on Jurassic Park and its 2 sequels. I haven't seen The Lost World or the 3rd movie, and I hope that I can see them and I can see the upcoming 4, or at least the one that's been said to come soon. But Jurassic Park, the original, I've seen that, and that is a great, great movie. Better than this, definitely. I grew up with this, and Jurassic Park really rings a bell more than this, because I honestly have to say that, CD-based games, really got good on the Dreamcast. But, there's nothing compared to cartridge greatness. And, if I could have the ability to have the actual cartridge or put the emulator where I first played the Jurassic Park on Genesis, if I still had a way to have that emulator on there, or if I had the cartridge in the Genesis hooked up here, I'd be able to do a nice thing where I had game footage on here, but unfortunately, for some reason, I just don't think I'll be able to do that. Now, you may notice that I've been kind of trying to, my last 3 videos, well, my last 4 videos, if you think about it, have been like, kind of all up, they're like an hour, 2 hours practically. My Tomb Raider review was like, I don't know, 8, 12 minutes, or I don't know. My Hazard review was 19 minutes. Most of which I spent moaning and groaning due to the god-awful sound of the iToy camera, which I actually like. And of course my WrestleMania arcade game review was like 13 minutes, and my latest review for Attitude was, for the love of God, 16 minutes. Now that is just ridiculous. But of course, this episode of Believe Me, I think is totaled up to, 5 minutes. And I genuinely love all these games that, I've talked about, except for Dukes of Hazzard, which is a piece of shit. The elements of making a shitty game are practically just, doing a lot of crappy 3D ports, initial 3D ports. They were really, really not good, other than especially Super Mario 64, which is an excellent, excellent game that I hope to someday get for the Virtual Console and the Wii. So, I guess, with that said, this was such a great thing to do, such a great thing to have a show called Believe Me. And, I hope to maybe get some footage of this at some point. I probably won't be able to get anything. But there is one more thing I would like to get into next time. Okay, I'm not ripping into Attitude, but look a little below that. Oh yeah, you see? PlayStation 3. Oh yeah, look down there. It looks a little magic-y. A little intimidating. What am I going to review next? It's my first modern game. Folklore. For none other than the PlayStation 3. It was released this year. This year. So this is my newest game yet. This, my friends, is what I will be reviewing next. This one may be a little longer than this one, but of course this one is only about 6 or 7 minutes. So, next time, Folklore for the PS3! And I give this game a good rating. Jurassic Park gets a good